Okay, so here is the finished guitar after the body was painted, the neck was oiled and polished, the new strings added, new components, the pickups and the bridge were added, and then the guitar was tuned. I set it up as best as I could with the heights of the strings and the length of the strings. I haven't quite got that done yet, but so this is it. The guitar base cost, the kit itself was $62.99, and the new strings, the Terrio strings, were $5.49, and the new pickups were $89.99. The bridge was $39.99 or $32.99, and this guitar strap was about 15 bucks. So as part of my project, I tried to compare how it played in various states. So right out of the box with the cheap strings, I played it, and then I added the new strings and played it. Then I added and then we actually did the body work. We finished the painting and the neck, and then we added the components and played it. Then I added the bridge and played it, and I have a video of that to see if you can see the differences. Unfortunately, there's some reasons why it probably is not going to work very well, but I can tell you that the strings, the new strings made a big difference. Maybe the biggest difference between the three, I'm not sure, because the pickups made a huge difference too. Really, in terms of the volume, the tone, the variations that you could get. The tip at buying the new pickups made a definite improvement. As far as the bridge goes, you know, I'm not sure that I could tell the difference, besides maybe seeing that the notes sustained a little longer. But all in all, I guess I like the guitar. I like playing. In fact, I play this more now than, at least now I'm playing it a little bit more than I play the Telecaster. I think it sounds better, but that could be just the variations of tones you can get out of a Stratocaster versus a Telecaster. I do seem to like the neck better. My hand seems to kind of glide over it a lot easier than the Telecaster. The Telecaster is almost 30 years old, or 28 years old, or whatever, so it may make a difference. As far as the actual experience of assembling, the kit, when I ordered it, it came in within 5 days. $62.99 included shipping. You actually have a choice between getting it from China or from the U.S., and the U.S. apparently warehouses it. Came with instructions that were scant, but better than nothing. In general, it fit together pretty well, except for the neck. The neck, when you just sort of try to place it into the bass, it was loose, fit loose. So you know, it was hard to figure out where I needed to set it to get it straight. This did cause a few problems when I was assembling and unassembling it, but I think it looks great now. Everything else, you know, the pick guard, you only had to do 3 solder joints, or the 2 at the jack and 1 in the back for the base of the cleat. Everything else was pretty self-explanatory. The book was not 100% right. The manual, I mean, it designated a 3/8 inch screw, and they were 3/16 screw, and the hole accordingly. So they were off there. So, but again, in looking at the whole kit and kind of figuring out where everything went, it was pretty easy to put all the pieces in the right place. I had to do fret leveling. There were some frets down here that were uneven and actually made a difference when you tried to play. So I looked up how to do it on YouTube, and I got a sanding block for frets. Sanded it down really good. Then I used a file to do the rough shaping so that when you file the frets, the crowns are flat, and then you put you round it back up again. And then I use different types of sandpaper to kind of keep smoothing and polishing it, and finally, very fine steel wool. And I thought it worked really good. I thought it looks good. It's nice and smooth down here. There's no fret problems. So considering that was my first time, I was pretty happy with that. My son painted the body, and I think he did a really good job with it. I was happy with the color, the look. I think it really, I like red. And if I make another guitar, it probably won't be red, it might be blue, but other people may want to put patterns or something on it, but you can customize it when you do it yourself. You can put a different style of paint on it if you want. In terms of the components, I'll first of all say something good about my supplier, which is Sweetwater. I bought the pickups and the bridge from Sweetwater, and I was very impressed with their customer service. They assign an engineer to you, and whenever I have a question, they're available in a fairly short period of time to answer questions you have. They follow up, and when I called them one time, after I ordered the pickups, I started looking at reviews on bridges, and I realized that some of the bridges were a different dimension than others, and I wanted to make sure I got the right one to match the Chinese kit that I got. I asked that question on email, and Sweetwater called me the next morning, went over it. They found a part number that they're going to special order for me. We got that. Now, unfortunately, there was a mix-up there in when he ordered. I guess numbers are flipped or whatever. So I ended up getting the bridge that was the wrong dimension, but I, emailed or called them right away, and they fixed it. They immediately put the shipping, new part on shipping. Didn't charge me anything for the holding, or they let me keep the old bridge because it was, the shipping costs would outweigh any benefit for them to getting it back. So their expertise, the customer service, variety of products. I don't know anything about pricing, anything as far as the guitar. So I plan to use Sweetwater and get their expertise in future projects. Overall, I think that as far as, was it worthwhile upgrading, I will say that if you just take the guitar and add new strings, which I think you have to do that, and do some good fretwork and setup, I think what you have is a pretty decent guitar to play. I don't know if you can go on the road and play with it, but it sounded pretty good. Now the pickups made a huge difference from there, but if you're just going to looking for a $60 or $80 guitar or whatever, if you're willing to put the work in, I think you could get a better guitar with that than trying to go on the market and find used guitars or somebody's guitar, fully assembled guitars. I really think that with your work, this is a better deal for you. You do have to be careful about components. I didn't realize this, but there's a Strat that's made in Mexico, and there's a Strat that's made in the USA, and then you have different kits from all over Asia, I guess. And the sizing of the components, maybe even the style, are not all the same. So if you are going to upgrade any guitar, really, you should make sure you're getting the right dimensions. Otherwise, you could be wasting some time there, I guess. Um, as far as any other issues, one thing is the guitar now. I mean, I bought this kit in July, and it's now almost October 1st. And I looked online again, and it's now $69.99 and not $62.99. So the price went up. I don't know if that has anything to do with the tariffs that Trump did, or if there's just that kind of variation you get. Even $69.99 or $80 or whatever is a pretty good deal if you're willing to put the time in. So I do have a video of me playing the different variations. There's a few issues that may make that not a very useful video. First of all, the song I chose was by Nirvana, On a Plane, with the power chord version, and I used power chords because on the cheap strings I broke. I think it was this string right here, one of these two strings. So I really was I didn't want to get more cheap strings. So for comparison purposes, I pretty much was using power chords at the at the top of the fret here. Also, I use distortion on the amp, and you're distorting the sound, so not sure that is a good way to compare the quality of the sound of the different versions of the guitar. So the iPad I'm using doesn't pick up sound very well. It's not going to pick up the nuances. And then finally, the player, which is me. I'm not a very good guitar player. I don't play notes crisply. My fingering is sloppy, and I think that a better guitar player would make a big difference. So, but anyway, this is not a how-to video, but I do in my description on my YouTube channel, I do have links to all the videos that I watched to get to learn how to do this, and I put those there, and I think they're all pretty good. And if you watch them all, you'll know as much as I do about putting a guitar together. So I had a lot of fun. I might do this again. I might try to sell this. The only other bad thing I would point out is the head stock. It doesn't have the fender shape to it. The shape is supposed to be like that, so for a Strat. And since I don't have a bandsaw or any really good, I have a jigsaw, and I really decided I wasn't going to chance it. There are kits that have the head coming with the Strat style shape, and I think a lot of people, even though I'm not going to tell anybody that this is a real Strat or a real official Fender, I would certainly be honest with them, but a lot of people may just be kind of turned off by this block style. It doesn't affect the playing at all, and if somebody said to me, "Oh, I'll buy this from you, but please, cut out this head," I probably could find a way to cut it and sand it and make it look like a Strat. But right now, I think I'll probably just keep it for myself. Maybe I'd sell my Telecaster. So I don't know.